Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And this is other Bay. Say hi.
Hollow.
And today we're talking about Passion by Lauren Kate. The what book are we on?
Third.
Third
Third
book
book
in the
series.
Tormenting Me Specifically series.
Me too.
Yeah. What
This
did
is
you guys
not
think?
the Santa book.
This is not the what book?
The Santa
So it was
book.
like, is this
We're
the
gonna
Santa
talk.
book?
I mean, we could talk about Santa.
We can talk about. I would
No,
love to tell
I
you
haven't
all
read
about
it.
the Santa
Oh,
book.
so you want to read it?
No,
Well,
we
let's
You know
don't.
what?
We're
half
not
an
going to
hour.
talk about it.
That you could read it right now while we talk about a different book, and you'd be done. It takes about 30 minutes to read. Genuinely,
It was so good.
you have time.
By that I mean it was fucking horrible, but in a good way.
You
but
have
like I had
time.
so much fun.
Okay, on a scale of
Like haunting vagina, it was not. It was nothing like haunted vagina.
The haunted vagina.
but
You know
on
what
which
though?
end, in what direction though is it nothing like it? Like
Well,
it's
something that was
not
a lot.
It was
like
like
the haunted
normal.
Vagina
It was normal.
was Squeak.
Squeak was a lot like
Squeak was a lot like the haunted vagina,
but it was not nearly as weird.
and the Squeakquel comes out in May.
You know what? I challenge you
not
to
nearly
find
as weird.
Vagina. I challenge you.
Did you not read that sins list that I sent you? The books that need to go directly to jail. Did you not read it?
Yes, I did read it. However, I don't currently recall something more WTF-y than crawling inside his girlfriend's vagina, living in there, falling in love with someone, having a baby inside his girlfriend's vagina.
Oh,
Okay, so what we read last
Kissing
night.
the Coronavirus has 2 more books. Anyways, continue.
Okay, but what we read last night. So sorry, this weekend was an adventure, but starting with the end of it, which was definitely the weirdest installment, was Squeak, which was about balloon animal shifters
Yep.
who jizz funnel cake icing,
Yep.
and they're part also Omegaverse thrown in for fun. And
I didn't know what that was.
Don't worry about it. You do not need me to explain the Omegaverse to you. I am not going to do that.
All he needs to do is read Squeak and he'll know exactly, because that's how I learned what it was reading that book.
Here's what, because I love you, I'm not going to explain the Omegaverse to you. What in God's holy name are you talking about? Something that, you know what? We need to go to church. That's what we're talking about. Reasons why we need to go to church.
A haunted vagina, we actually did for book club.
Yes,
we did. It was many years ago.
That was that. Oh, don't say many years ago. Fuck.
I mean, it was like.
But it was. It was like. I was here already, so it was.
I think it was 2020.
3.5 years ago. I think.
Yeah, I think it was 2020.
Shit.
That's a little. Yeah.
Shit.
It wasn't recently.
No.
No, it's been a while. It's been quite a while.
Noah.
I found one that's weirder than haunted vagina, by the way.
No, you didn't. Well, yeah, you did.
A 10-foot tall skeleton rips her boyfriend in half mid-act, attaches the boyfriend's attachment to himself, and then resumes the act. Monsters and Tentacles by Melanie Nix. Everyone, meet her next week. We'll read that.
Okay. The other thing
there's multiple weirdest.
What was it called? Stalked by Santa.
I have my Goodreads open. I don't know. We'll name call it real quick. Are those Chuck Tingle books? No, they're not. I found this TikTok. It's just a list of like book sins, like books that deserve jail time.
Yes. Yeah.
And we read one of the books from that, but anyways.
I'm gonna send you guys one. I saw this ages ago, and then I kept on meaning to show it to my husband and then ask him if he wanted me to fill in the details. And last night it finally happened, and I'm just going to send it to you guys because I don't know if you guys are also aware, because this is how I found out, and you'll understand when you see what it is. It's like it's like 3 seconds long. It's not very long.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I already know.
Yeah.
What, the C-section thing?
No, it's not C-section.
What is it for?
I'll tell you shortly. Now, give me one other second because I'm going to send you guys a picture of what it looks like as well. Copy image address, private chat. There we go. Okay, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
It was when a baby would get stuck. That would go up. That would go up and grind away at the pelvic bone.
Ow.
Mm-hmm.
That is the original purpose of the chainsaw, to go up a hoo-ha and grind away at pelvic bone. So every time...
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
I was disturbed a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. When I told him, though, he was not okay. I feel like guys have a harder time coping with the knowledge.
Yeah. Honestly, after the weekend I've had, I feel like nothing's going to faze me anymore.
I thought you were going to say after the weekend I had, I'd prefer it if I had. Well, that's where you're going.
No. I oddly enough, the thing that no one saw coming, I chose a book that corrupted her.
That is what happened.
in an unseen turn of events.
Yeah.
I read a book last June that I on Saturday was like, ha ha ha. If you want to read a spicy book, here it is. And then she started to read it, and I was like, oh, dang, I want to reread it. So Cena and I just sat on the couch, and we just read it on our own devices. And every chapter, we would check in, and we'd be like, so how are we doing? And it
was, why was it good?
It was so fucking good.
What was it? If you don't want to say it, there's a private chat right there.
I have bad news, bae.
What?
It was Haunting Adeline.
Oh, that one. I've got that.
You have that book?
I haven't read it, but we were talking about it a few months ago.
Yes, because I was like, ha ha ha, there's this funny thing that happened in a book that I read in June. And
that was the one
y'all were like, ha ha ha. Yeah,
right? Yeah. So I acquired it in case we ever decided to go down that route.
Well, it was on Kindle Unlimited. So it's not
Unlimited. And it is the only thing on the Kindle store that has spicy notes on it, because we kept going to spicy books that we knew of and finding the most highlighted sections. And that book has the most highlighted sections that we saw in the entire store. And 2, the only things that were spicy. And it was the second one's trash. We'll never touch the second one again with a 10-foot pole.
Well, because we read the first and second one all the same night.
Yeah, we read them the same night, yeah.
Mostly because we didn't read the first half of the second one.
And then we kind of DNF'd the second one because I was like, wait, because I read it in totality before. And I was like, you can skip the first half of it. It's just her being kidnapped, blah, 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 blah.
And who cares?
Yeah. But Haunting Adeline.
It was also I have never said this before in my life. It was written in present tense, and I approved. I was okay with it because it was written like a thriller, and I was all right with it. I was like, you know what? This is the only time it's appropriate.
Yeah, and like I have said as well, like when it's like a, because we've had conversations on present tense before, obviously.
Yes,
especially
and most of the time I hate it. Most of the time I hate it.
And I can actually remember saying, like one of the times where I don't mind it at all, and I feel like it's the most appropriate is especially when it's in a thriller and it's like you're in the mind of the killer in that scene or something.
Yeah. Well, so the first couple chapters, especially, I was stressed. I was like, girl, there were some chapters where you're just like, I'm stressed. Like, what? Like, I was stressed. And the way that she used present tense, like it actually stresses you out a little bit the way that it's supposed to. And I think that's why a lot of romance authors do use present tense, but like it's a romance book. We're in like a small town and there are only cows. Like, I'm not stressed. Please stop it. Like, get this out of here. You know, I'm not in danger, but you know, there's firearms up coochies. So like, you know, now I'm actually stressed. So
I think present tense also makes sense in Hunger Games, because Hunger Games series is in present tense.
I don't
remember that because I haven't read those since like
those are in present tense, and I think it makes sense because it's especially like when she's in the games, like it feels like it's meant to. It's meant to feel like
that would make sense.
So that series is in present tense, and it's one where. Because also, like, it also, I guess, ups the stakes of, like, she might actually die because she's not telling you the story. You're going through it with
tense, her. Yeah.
Whereas past tense books, I know that past tense first-person protagonists can die. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not common because they're telling you the story.
Yeah.
So they're not usually dead when they're telling you.
See, I never looked at it that way. I just looked at it as it doesn't sound fucking dumb.
Well, there's also that. But I feel like, though, if your main character is going to die, it should be written in past tense. Sorry.
Present.
Not in first person.
In third person. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because, like, again, how can they tell you a story if they're dead? They're supposed to be sitting there telling you, I did a thing, and this is how I felt at that moment. I don't know. Sorry.
You should beg, though. By the way, I know that you have to read it, though. I'm sorry. You have to read it. You have to read Haunting Adeline now.
How long does it take to read?
Well, we read it
2 in one night.
Okay,
we
fine.
read
it.
But
I can commit to that.
Don't read the second one.
Don't read the second one. We're not going to read the second one.
Because I still need to finish your one too, and I'm busy.
I don't normally say stuff like this, but my book doesn't matter right now. Read Haunting Adeline. Also, though, because you can skip a lot of the chapters.
See, my first read through, I've read everything except for these chapters.
I'm not a skippy person though. If I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, the story itself is interesting. It is very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I'll read it and we'll report back next week. Okay, we'll do it because the next one in this series as well we're doing is Fallen in Love, which is a novella and it is short. It's just 4 short stories. I think they're like 6 chapters each or 4 chapters each or something like that. Pretty freaking short. So we can detour. It's fine. Okay. Well. Yeah.
What's the Heartstriker series? What's that?
I don't know, but I just saw
that. We're all going on Goodreads.
I'm choking on a mint.
Well, don't do that.
I didn't mean to.
Okay, I like the title.
Okay.
Dragons!
You know Addie's interested when dragons are involved.
Oh, I've been fantasy.
Me too.
It's on Kindle Unlimited.
Oh.
Okay, fine. Okay, just twist my fucking arm. I'm down for dragons. I like dragons.
Someone write that down.
I put it in my want to read.
Cool.
I put it on my list. It's all good.
Yeet.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, excellent. Oh, wait. Let me just double check. Yeah. Babe, we're good on the audio front, okay?
Okay.
Dope.
Because I know that is a consideration to be taken into account.
Oh yeah, we have to always make sure there's an audiobook.
Except for when we can't. Like she's done a full series of reading books.
Yeah.
Wildcats.
I mean, I'll read. I've been reading a lot more, honestly. Like just.
Yeah, I mean, we read 6
read.
books this weekend.
Yeah, just because I subscribed to Kindle Unlimited, and I've just been reading like a motherfucker.
We read 2. We read 2 on Saturday.
2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday.
And then we read Squeak last night. And we read 5 over the weekend.
We read 6, right?
We were going to read 6, and then we kept getting distracted by going into Goodreads holes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we read 5.
Okay. Should we talk about passion?
Oh.
I don't have notes. I don't have notes.
You know what? Let me fine. I'll open up the ebook, okay? Because that'll help us do a thing, okay? Just give me a second now. You let the team down.
I know I did. I don't have my in-depth notes. I know. I know we do.
Like the streams that you're not in.
They're just so chaotic. I know, because I'm not here going, all right, so in chapter 2 we did this. Yeah. I mean, I have some notes. I have notes for the first few chapters.
Okay, I've got the list of chapter titles, and we can go from there, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't feel like we need to really go over characters because we discussed this book.
Yeah, we were just here last week.
Yeah. Also, I'm so I need to apologize to you guys because my memory of is it Bill, the gargoyle?
Bill, yes.
Yeah, my memory of him was like funner than what he actually was, and I'm sorry.
Well, he's just Lucifer, so.
I know, but when he was Bill, I can remember like the first time I read this, and when we found out that Bill was Lucifer, I was like devastated because I loved Bill.
And then you're like, oh, he's Lucifer. Also, I got no Lucifer's hot vibes, and I'm very disappointed.
Maybe in the last book.
Just want him to be hot.
Maybe not. Well, in this one, when he becomes himself, he's like a giant gargoyle. He looks like Bill.
Yeah, but like. Yeah, but like I need the energy at least.
Okay. Now I need I've got an honest question to ask the both of you, and I've got a question. I want honest answers. 1, have you looked up the final plot twist of the series?
No, I have not.
But can you just tell me?
Have all of the foreshadowing made you suspect anything yet?
No.
Is there foreshadowing?
So much.
Maybe I'm just dumb.
No, I didn't pick up on it until
you knew what it was.
I will, and it's so obvious to me now. It is so obvious because I know. But at least once a chapter, there is like massive, like giant flashing lights in this book.
Once a chapter?
Is it that she's Lucifer?
At least. She's not Lucifer, it's fine.
Or she is a man named Bill.
Huh?
She's secretly a tiny man named Bill.
Yes.
She's a gargoyle.
Yes. Oh, yes. God. She's a gargoyle. There's a tiny man in her head named Hudson, who's a vampire, secretly her mate.
But she thinks she's made it to his brother,
whose name is Jackson with an X.
Carbos.
You know what? All of these what facial expression all of these suggestions are making me want to have, but then I saw this photo and I forgot to have it.
that's we're just describing the plot of the Crave series because we watched a video essay on it.
Well, look, the next book is very short, so if we want to be done with this series by next week and you can actually find out the frickin' plot twist, then we can maybe try and squeeze in Fallen in Love sometime between now and next week, if you guys are down for that. Because I'm actually really excited to get to the end of this. I want your reactions. That's what I'm excited for. I kind of just don't want to wait another 2 weeks for them.
You could just
tell us. I want the text messages. I want to wake up because I'll probably be asleep when you get to that part. And when you send them, make sure you invisible ink if you're the first one. Okay. It's important to me. It's really important to me.
Okay.
Experience it as it's meant to be experienced. Because it's so stupid. Stop pondering, Faye. I don't think
she's heartily pondering.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get it.
Is Luce like Jesus or something?
Yes, she's Jesus.
Daniel's Jesus.
Yes, he is also Daniel Jesus. They're Jesus.
What?
They're both Jesus.
And Gabriel.
Yes, whatever. Also that.
She's the Virgin Mary. Is she the Virgin Mary?
Yes.
That'd be dumb.
I'm just gonna say yes to everything now, with my mouth covered, in case you guess it and you can't get any tells.
Yeah, I know. That's what I would have to do if I were you too.
Look, let's just talk about the book, okay? We start with the prologue called Dark Horse, and they're at a horse race, and it's fun. Except it's not. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Babe. Focus on the task at hand.
No.
Are we just going to sit here awkwardly?
Yes. Yeah.
You're not making
She's
me
going to try to peer pressure.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm not telling. Bae,
I'm going to figure it out.
Bae, if you love me at all, you will experience it as it's meant to be experienced. And that means getting through Fallen in Love. And then we get through Rapture. And you don't have to get all the way through Rapture because the plot twist happens within. Well, I don't know if it's a plot twist. It's something. The thing happens in Rapture. Okay? So you don't even have to get all the way to the end of the book. It's fine. And you'll know. And the epilogue is retarded.
Well, I expect nothing less from this book series.
Yes.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's a mess. We start.
Prologue has Miss Sophia.
Yes.
And I forgot who she was, and so I was like, "Who are these people? Why do we fucking care?"
Yeah, I was pretty sure from memory the person that they end up talking to, right, the one that invited them all there that day and everything. And then when they appeared, and it was like, "I'll just do it myself," because I knew that it was going to end up being Lucifer who is Bill. I don't understand. Because isn't Miss Sophia and the elders and everything meant to be like team God?
So I thought they were meant to be Team Lucifer.
No, because that was the whole point of, like, she was like, "I'm going to kill you, so then that way Daniel can finally choose God."
Oh. That's
see, because of the fact that they're just evil, I assumed that they were on the side of.
No, the elders are like hardcore, like Team Yahweh or whatever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. That scene doesn't make sense to me.
It's
yeah, they're like they made it the horse race and like, oh, everyone's and the outcasts turned their back on him. So why is he inviting the outcasts as well? Because the reason they're blind is because they were originally like, oh yeah, like Team Satan, and then they're like, actually no, I kind of want to go back to heaven, and God's like, lol, no, and now they're blind. And neither Satan or God wants the outcasts.
This poor things. But yeah, they were working together.
Yeah, so they're like, everyone's like, we need to go. She's just jumped through announces, and now we need to find her. And then
and fucking, we're in Moscow.
Yes, we are. In 1941.
Lushka. Lushka is her name.
1941 is a great time to be in Moscow.
Yeah, right.
Great time to be in Europe, in fact.
Yeah, wait. So what actually happened? October 15, 1941.
1941 is the middle of
that was the battle of it's the middle of the Battle of Moscow.
Yeah. It's middle of World War something.
World War something?
Yeah, the Germans are doing a bombing in Russia.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. Germans are currently bombing Moscow, and she's there. And she runs into Lushka because all of her past names
are just some
except for one. Except for one. The Incan one.
Yeah, they're all something of
and the Incan one doesn't actually have anything to do with the meaning of the name Lucinda either, which is that. So that was just annoying.
Yeah, at least keep it in theme.
Yeah, I don't know where that one comes from, but they're all like phonetically similar to Lucinda or actually Lucinda still. And she runs into Lushka's grandmother.
Yeah, and her sister.
And they're like, take this cloak, and she's like, okay, fine. And then she's like, where am I? And then she finds herself and then watches herself die.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of this book. She just finds herself.
Yeah, it's literally all this book is just her going to random different locations, seeing Daniel, seeing herself, and then she dies. And then fucker tries to make her kill herself. And then
she eventually starts jumping into herself because she can't touch herself.
Yeah.
Oh, also, because when you listen to it, you can't actually appreciate just all the different variations of Daniel in this book either. Like, for example, the Russian Daniel is Daniil.
Yeah, Daniil.
Daniil.
Yeah.
Which fucking...
Yeah, so in this first one, she watches herself die. She runs into Daniil and the others. And they're like, Lushka, tell us what's happening. She's like, lol, no, and jumps into an announcer. And while Daniel appears.
And then he's like, just missed her.
Yeah. And then he talks to himself, and he's like, he did a thing, and the rest of them are like, yeah, we know because we remember you doing this like from forever ago. And he's like, no, I'll find her before I run into you guys in the past. And they're like, but we remember it, dude.
And he's like, I don't give a fuck.
And then he yeets, and now she's in Milan, Italy, in 1918.
Yeah. During World War One. Who is she in this one? Nurse.
Yeah, but what's her name? Actual...
Lucia?
Yeah, I'm looking for her. Lucia, yeah. Yeah. But Lucia is like what? She's like 12 in this one? She's 12?
She's a few years. Yeah, she's younger.
Yeah. And so So Luce doesn't recognize. Oh, sorry, Lucia doesn't recognize Luce because
obviously they don't look the same. Yeah,
and it's weird, right? Because half the time they look the same, and then half the time they don't, and then sometimes Daniel looks the same, and then half the time he doesn't.
But that doesn't make sense because Daniel's not being reincarnated. Daniel just exists.
Yeah, but I guess he has to make himself look different because at some point in this he's Asian for starters. But if he's being Asian, then why couldn't he have looked like a Tahiti man when they're in Tahiti?
It doesn't.
Honestly, it doesn't make sense that she's identical except for when she's not.
Daniel morphing into different races throughout the year. I have questions.
It's problematic. But
there's a lot.
I guess he's an angel, so it's like transcends all that. But like at the same time,
like,
he's still presented as a white
like
male.
He's presented as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, boy.
But also, does he actually? I'm just assuming that does he actually change race because like the one where Roland's like, oh yeah, I have to be the fucking servant because I'm black.
Yeah, so why couldn't he just
change? If he's not changing race, then that assumes that he just pulls on Asian skin for a while, but that's weird. Yeah, I think maybe. Is that worse? That might be. I think that's worse.
When we get to the Asian life, we'll
talk about it when we get there.
Yeah, we'll talk about because then I'll actually read his description when we get to that. But yeah, we're in Milan and she's like being.
But she finds Daniel.
Yeah, she finds Daniel. She sits with him all night. She briefly talks to herself. And then herself says goodbye to Daniel and is heartbroken. And then Luce leaves again.
And then chapter 4 is Daniel shows up right after Luce leaves.
And he talks to Lucia as well. And he's like, meet me in 5 years at the pond yonder or something like. I don't know.
That's fucking creepy. It's creepy. She's a child. And you're whatever.
Yeah. And now we're in Helston, England in 1854.
Yes.
And herself is the daughter of like a nobleman or something. I don't know.
Oh, this is also when we meet Bill.
Oh yeah, we meet Bill. So before she goes to Helston, England,
she gets stuck in the announcer with Bill.
And who is Bill? He's a little gargoyle, and he's like, I can look like whatever you want me to, though. And he makes himself look like Daniel, and she's like, can you be Bill again?
Yeah, let's not do that.
And he's like, I'm gonna be your friend and your guide and your peeps. And she's like, cool, I want a peeps. So he's peeping. And the pun there, I guess, was accidental but relevant because he does kind of just watch everything, and it's weird. And she runs in. She watches herself again, and she's like, "How can Daniel like?" Oh, yeah, we're discovering this as well. It is like the Immortal series where herself is not always herself.
Yeah, her personality is different.
She's a different person every time.
Which means he's got to have a favorite.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you are different in each life, but you're soul bound to someone, and I hate that term, but it's the only term I can think of. Yeah. They're soul bound together. And he's immortal, so he knows all of your past selves, right? Whereas you only know your current one. But you do know that you're all different in everyone, and it's not just a matter of, like, well, this one grew up poor, so they're a little bit more like street smarty because they grew up impoverished in a slum or something, versus this one who grew up pampered. Like, there's bigger differences than that between them. Do you or do you not spend the rest of your life insecure over the fact that you're like your current self is like his 20th favorite version of yourself?
Yeah, probably, because
Also, at that point, wouldn't he be like, "Oh, this one was rich. She's not. She's gonna be meh. She's gonna be mid." You know?
Yeah, she'd be very mid-tier loose.
Yeah. Or he's gonna be like, this one grew up with like just the right amount of poverty and like challenge, but also she got like a good education eventually. So this one's gonna be like S tier. You know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be an S tier loose. I hope I can keep her around for like a while, but like, yeah. Or I'm gonna photograph it or something. I'll get her to like put her handprint somewhere.
And then the follow-up is though, because you know how like, because in these books, right, there's always something like, you know, like something's different this time. And while I'm thinking of it as well, I'm glad that this book actually does address the fact that no, they're pretty sure her baptism is, or lack thereof, is what has made her
like this in this lifetime.
Like this, which is why no one has baptized her. I'm glad that gets addressed this book. I forgot it gets addressed.
Because that's all we say. Every book is just fucking baptize her and see what happens.
Yeah, so it gets addressed why they haven't just done that, and I'm fine with it now. I no longer have an issue with it. But yeah, in these, right, because there's always something's different this time around, and you're not dying this time for some reason. Is the reason that you're not dying this time around is because you are the version that he's meant to be with.
Yeah, then maybe all the other versions were like just
subpar.
Yeah.
Is that what you tell you? Maybe. Is that what you tell yourself every day when you wonder if he loved like the second last version of you?
That's what I mean, honestly, I would just be like, fuck this guy. He's 6,000 years old at least, and he's creepy. Bye.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing as well. Like, I mean, I'm a lot more forgiving of, for example, because we've talked about age gap, like paranormal or fantasy or whatever age gap stuff before, right? I'm fine with the age gap in Twilight, for example, because Edward isn't a 100-year-old man. He's his body's
100 years old, but he's 17. Yeah.
But, yeah. He will always 17. Mentally be 17. In this one though, I don't think Daniel is meant to be. I mean, he acts like it a lot, sure, but I don't think he's meant to be mentally a teenager. He's mentally an angel.
Yeah, no. He's mentally
he's written like a child, but yes. I think it's not on purpose, I don't think.
How do you write an angel though where they're not either a child or insufferable or both?
You know what? The Succubus, the Georgina Kincaid series?
Yeah. Oh, true.
Yeah. What's his name? I stan him. I love him.
I can't remember his name.
I don't know what happened like past the first book, but
yeah, same as his.
I love him. He's funny.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, so yeah.
Chapter 6.
But he's also kind of written to be insufferable. So like, but he's not. He's just fun.
Chapter 6.
Also,
Daniel
Apollo, kind of.
Yeah, Daniel's here.
Apollo from Covenant.
No, he was awful.
No. When he's Leon, sorry. When he's Leon.
Yeah, Leon.
Before he's Apollo. Sorry, the other way around. When he's Leon.
Okay, that's
like that.
Leon is amazing. I miss Leon so much.
I'm thinking of someone else, but I have seen it done in a way, and it actually is when they're kind of written to be pretty insufferable, and then they just kind of wind up being hilarious. But it's not when they're love interests. It's when they're like peripheral characters that you don't get super close to, but they're kind of like, I guess you can call this guy if you need it. Oh, there is one I'm thinking of. But it's a series you guys haven't read. And again, it's like one of those side characters that we can call, but he's not
on page a lot.
He's not on page a lot, and that's why it works.
I think that's how we have to do it, yeah. If you're ever going to have a really, really, really old person or an angel or something, yeah, you kind of have to just...
Kind of like Bran.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like Bran works because he's not on page.
Yeah, but then it also works because you know that sometimes he just gets bored and likes to fuck with them.
Yeah, you know.
And he's not meant to be holier than thou because he's not an angel. Like, he's...
I mean, yeah, so I think that's kind of why, like, the angels feel very childish, just because you see too much of them, I guess. Because when I think of it done well, it's very much like they pop in and out. You know, you're kind of like, why? And then.
Okay, so if you're ever going to write an angel, have them just be like a occasional side character.
You don't get to blink them. I'm sorry.
Unless it's like
unless it's a different kind, because like Crescent City, the love interest is an angel, but he's not like an angel type of thing, and he's not 6,000 years old. You know, like
yeah, and just also we need to just like specify as well. The reason why we're using like 6,000 as the basis for any of the timing is because that is it's not actually explained in the lore in this book if it's young Earth or not young Earth, and so that is the smallest time span of the series.
And that's us being generous with the age gap.
Yes, so it's really like 6,000 plus. Like it's at least 6,000.
Yeah, 6,000 to multiple million. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly, which is just fucking stupid. But Daniel shows up in the castle and it's like, Luce, thank fucking God, you psycho bitch. And then, and then she's like, it's not me. Who are you? Who are you? What's going on? And he's like, fuck's sake.
And then we're back to we spend a bit of time in Helston, England. That's right. Because then we go back to Luce. Because that's right. He runs into Lucinda, who is this iteration.
Yeah. Well, Luce is just in the kitchens.
Yeah. So she's being a scullery maid. While
she is not. She's not good at it.
No, and she's pissed.
It's like but you got yourself into this fucking situation.
Yeah. And no one. Yeah. And then she runs into Roland.
Also, Cam's here as well. Not in this scene. But Cam was in the last chapter.
Yeah, multiple other angels pop in and out of these things. Oh, and every time another angel shows up, Bill disappears. He hides. And no one else can see Bill except for Luce, except for other angels, which is why he hides. It's... Oh, also, we see Annabelle in this chapter as well, and she's the angel that was posing as Arian's sister in the first book. And Luce only just realizes in this book that Annabelle is an angel. She was at the Thanksgiving thing from memory as well. I'm pretty sure she was part of the roll call.
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't? I thought she was.
Because I wrote down all the names that were said, because I was like, this is the fucking stupidest thing that's ever happened.
But either way, though, like, because it's mentioned later, she was like, "Oh, I realized on my backwards journey, like in Helston, England, that's when I realized that Annabelle is an angel." I'm like, you didn't think that maybe when she was there, pretending to be an angel's older sister, that she was an angel? Like, I picked up on. I assumed that. I can remember assuming that from the first time I read Fallen. As soon as like they're like, "Oh, there's some girl with hot pink hair that is Arian's sister," I'm like, I guess she's an angel too? ? But yeah, she discovers this because Arian and Annabelle decide to go running through the kitchen together. I don't know. It feels like like they're like throwing bubbles at each other and stuff. I'm just like, what a... It didn't... Yeah, it was weird. And then Roland appears and he's like, "Don't ever touch yourself, Luce." And she's like, "Okay, I promise I won't ever touch myself."
Which is just weird. Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. And then she sees Cam and she's like, "Ew, Cam," because we were still on the hate Cam train for some reason.
In her defense, she did like, to her only like a matter of like 2 days ago or something, watch Cam shoot her through the chest.
Yeah, but it wasn't malicious. She's just fucking...
Well,
Cam's the better of the love interest.
I know, but he thought it was Luce.
He has brown hair.
Away and he shot an arrow into her chest and killed her, knowing it would kill her forever.
Yeah, because that's better than whatever fate he thought she was gonna meet.
I know, but I can understand why she's still not Team Cam, because she just watched him kill her 2 days ago.
Well, that sounds like the beginning of a love story, not the end of one.
Cam has his own love story.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and we will eventually. I haven't read that book. Okay, so that's going to be new for me, because I found out last year it existed, and it's been out for years, and I don't know how I didn't know. But
Cam doesn't need a different love story.
Yeah, like Cam don't need it, but Bill is just putting seeds of doubt in her ear, like Daniel doesn't fucking like you, and then when we go back to Daniel,
let's just point Lucifer. Let's go.
Did you guys feel like Bill was off whilst reading?
No,
I mean, I also don't like Daniel, so
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's because fuck Daniel. So it's like,
I mean, obviously, I'm not supposed to agree with Bill, so I was like, sure, this is obviously a bad guy, but I was with Bill, so like, yay, Lucifer.
Because like when we were like, we love Aphrodite because she just constantly berates the nerd herd or whatever. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
That was
we like Bill because he's berating the love interest that we all hate.
You know,
or that we both hate.
Because Daniel is Daniel has a bit of Tamlin syndrome. I'm not gonna lie.
He really does.
He really does. God, I can't handle blonde love interests. They're awful. So sorry to blondes everywhere.
But you would not get in a fantasy.
I'm really
male blondes.
I'm really sorry.
No, blondes are fine.
It's only male blondes.
I'm just very sorry to blonde men everywhere. You've all been done dirty by fantasy writing.
My poor son. He's blonde.
I'm sorry.
Well,
but he's gonna be tall. He's gonna be
tall. He might go dark when he gets older.
He might.
Now, in contemporary, you're safe.
Golden blonde, so there's a chance.
You're safe in contemporary. It's just
true.
In fantasy, you're not safe.
In fantasy, you're not safe.
But if it's not fantasy, is it worth reading? 80% of the time, the answer is no.
Well, I mean, we found something though.
It depends. See, it depends. I can't read just like a normal. I can read some smut that's contemporary.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I have also I've read I read thrillers, I read contemporary and all that as well, but I always get drawn back to fantasy.
But fantasy is like my home genre. Yeah, fantasy romance is where I like to live.
Fantasy has home court advantage.
I like to visit elsewhere.
Well, contemporary romance is always a good time because it's nice and short, usually.
Yeah, typically they're short.
There's also lots of it on Kindle Unlimited, which is great because you can just tear through like 5 in a day.
I honestly, I think probably like my second. Okay, so I will often also kind of. I know it's not technically fantasy, but dystopian. They often have a similar feel to a lot of fantasy, so I kind of just like group them together half the time. My next one favorite is often like easy reading thrillers, not the ones that when they're printed they're like that thick. I don't have time. I don't have time for a book that thick.
Yeah, easy thrillers are good. Easy romance thrillers. The romance thrillers can be fun.
They can be.
They can be.
Especially
have fun, Bae.
I told you I'll do it. I'll do it. I can't do it right now though.
You could.
It was attempting to talk.
Listen. I will carry the rest of the stream. I could do it.
I'll read it to you.
We'll do a dramatic. Oh yeah, no, we can't. We cannot say any of it on stream.
When we do Fallen in Love, we will also do that, okay?
Haunting Adeline? Next week?
Sure. We'll do that and Fallen in Love together because Fallen in Love is short. This
we'll take one
short. We can do a split seats, okay?
TJ, This means we have to reread Haunting Adeline again.
Oh no, what a chore.
Oh no, we only really, really fucking love the book. And really almost read it again last night. We were very close to reading it again last night.
And just kind of beware chapter 16. That's all.
I'm gonna forget that. By the way.
What? Haunting? The Santa... We're not talking about the Santa book, Noah.
He's obsessed with Santa. He's obsessed with Stalked by Santa.
Why is the Stalked by Santa one the one you're focused on?
When
look, based on the quotations that you guys sent me yesterday, I'm not surprised. My childhood is like low-key traumatized and ruined now.
Well, he was just a guy. It wasn't actually Santa.
It wasn't actually Santa. It was just a dude. It was just some guy dressed in a Santa hat.
That doesn't make it better.
Look.
Yes, it does.
I think I prefer it to be actually Santa.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have
Santa's
to tell you,
going.
Considering
Santa's
we
going
read both,
to find the naughtiest girl of all and drag her back to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
He
honestly
calls
really
himself
terrible.
Childhood is located.
You know what though? You know what was really funny?
But it was so
When we were
fun.
reading it, we realized that like the way that his dialogue had been written, he had bad Jigsaw vibes. Like, so we started reading his dialogue out loud, like as if it was Jigsaw.
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, it
Because
was
he
like
said that. He said, "Do you want to play a game?" And
Yeah, he said,
that's
"Do you
when I
wanna play a
said
game?"
that.
And
So
then
what
we
what
started.
is really penetrated by
Make your
darkness? Is that Santa as well?
That's Santa, yes. And
we
he
started-
not
If
very
you've
dark.
been truly penetrated by
It
darkness, it
He-
stays with you forever.
He also, the first like scene of them interacting,
Is he
she
darkness?
wakes up.
Is that what he means?
Yes. She wakes
Okay.
up and there's a black mamba snake at the end of her bed, and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
touch it.
Yeah. And he's like, touch the black mamba. And we were
She's
like,
like,
where
no.
did he get a snake? Okay, so one of the first scenes of them interacting
And you're
is
surprised that
there's-
he's stuck on this book?
there's a black mamba in her bed. He puts one in there, and we were like, where the fuck did he get a black mamba? And he's like, touch it. Touch the black mamba. And we were like, please stop that. That's terrible. That's awful. I don't know. We don't know where he got it. Where did he put it? Because once he takes her back to his apartment, he doesn't have like an enclosure.
He doesn't
for
have
it.
a black
Did
mamba.
he rent it? I have questions
Did
about
he
the black
steal
mamba.
it?
That I from where?
The zoo.
They don't keep them in the zoo.
I don't know.
They're very dangerous. They're black mambas.
They might keep it in the zoo because because at the zoo, and the zoo that's near my house isn't that big. It's a pretty small zoo. Because it's not the zoo we went to. This one opened after you left. And they've got the deadliest snake in the world at that zoo.
Well, I feel like
Because it's an
the
Australian
deadliest snake in
native.
the world
Black
was
mambas
stolen.
are kind of cute. They have like a little smile on their face. That's cute.
I feel like if one of the deadliest snakes in the world was like stolen, that would be like news or something.
That's true.
Someone might have something to say about it.
Yeah, we've got where is it? We've got eastern tiger snakes, we've got eastern browns, we've got taipan, there we go. The taipan is in the zoo near our house, and that is the most lethal, deadliest snake in the world. And it even says on the enclosure, deadliest snake in the world. So, black mamba's only ranked as number 9, so maybe it's from the zoo.
But
I still have questions. Anyway,
he also chased her into the woods, and we thought that they were in a park because
they're in New York City, and she's like screeching her head off, and we're like,
this author was not
girl.
very good at putting us in places. Like she and I constantly had to go back and like reread sections to figure out where we were, like location wise.
We whole ass thought that was happening in Central Park. Like that's what.
Yeah, and I was
We were
like, they're gonna think that she's getting doodled. Like this is not good.
So
Yeah.
where was she when you thought she was
mean,
in
In the
Central Park?
woods.
In the
There's
woods?
woods in
I don't know.
Central
New
Park.
York City.
Yeah,
There
woods in
are
Central
woods in
Park.
Central Park.
And they're
But-
referred to as the woods.
But it's just the woods. I don't know.
It
Yeah,
was
Nondescript the
it's
woods.
referred when you're in New York City and you're like, oh, I saw a weird thing in the woods last night. Everyone thinks you're talking about Central Park when you're in Manhattan.
So maybe they were in a fucking park,
But I still feel like that much, like, honestly, also the use of all caps in that book.
Oh my gosh! I mean, you saw the fuck. He screamed at her a lot.
Also,
And it was also
I
a
would
will
love
novella.
to
say,
know. He
if
roared.
it's a
roared.
yelly fuck. Wait, what?
Roar. The roar dialogue tag. Yeah, do the roar.
Overused.
It was most of his dialogue tags. I would say that roar was used for him more than said.
Yeah.
So he spent half the book screaming.
Yes. Yeah. Too much.
That just reminded
Too
me
much
again.
screeching.
Guess what my daughter has started to do whenever she's displeased with someone's actions? She has started to growl. She'll just sit there for 5 minutes just growling at you when she's pissed off at you. Like a cat. Or a dog. Depends on the mood. Sometimes it's a cat growl, sometimes it's a dog growl.
You know.
So have fun when you breed, because they do weird shit like that. Look, we need to get through this. What chapter are we on?
Daniel broods.
Yeah,
we were chapter 8. Daniel broods. That's it.
Oh,
He
I'm
does.
sorry.
He
I was
does.
on chapter 4 of. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Chapter 4 is
Yeah.
Stalked by Santa.
Oh yeah. So
okay.
he watch chapter 8. He watches Lucinda die, and he's like, I guess if it wasn't so depressing, it'd be kind of beautiful, but it kind of fucking sucks. And then he has a chit chat with Cam, and he's like, I'm gonna break the cycle, and now we're in Tahiti. Now this is the one that I had distinct memories of, where it's freaking weird because Luce is now Lulu, and she is Tahitian.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a Tahitian island princess. And this
was a bit. This was a bit.
It gets worse though. I forgot about the
I know.
worst ones. I guess I blocked them out. I'm sorry. I didn't prepare you for them.
No, because we were like, what are the worst ones? And you're like, nothing's that bad.
It was bad.
Yeah,
It was
no, I had
very,
forgotten about them. Tahiti is the one that I remembered.
But Bill's still with her, still being like, ha.
Yeah,
He's the one who's like, here's where we are now.
Yep,
Here's
and this
the
is
lay of the
world,
land.
And this is the world where we start to get the hint that them kissing isn't what makes...
Which makes no sense, because the way it was established, whatever.
We'll chat about it after we do Rapture, okay? We'll chat about it.
Okay.
Because we can't talk about it without knowing. But yeah, so like Lulu, sorry, and Daniel, because I don't think he has a different name this one. I think he's just Daniel. I don't know. But Lulu and Daniel are living together in this one. So maybe he's not a 6 millennia year old virgin. I don't know. It's not said either way, but they're living together.
Yeah, they're living together, and then she's like, I want to leave. And so they do, and they go to Prussia.
Yeah. Yes, we go to Prussia. So wait, Tahiti was when? When was Tahiti? 1775. And now we're in Prussia in 1758. God, she's going backwards slowly. Until
she's trying to get to the OG.
Well, then you just say, "Hey, announcer, I want to go back OG." But
she's trying to go all the way back to the OG, and it's just not working.
Well, I think actually she's just trying to understand, and I guess she is. Yeah, it makes sense. What she's doing, I guess, but yeah, she's in Prussia, and a snowflake kisses her nose, I guess.
Yeah, we see.
What happens in Prussia?
I don't know. She stares at Daniel for a while.
Yeah. Oh, is this when he tries to kill himself? Yeah, so Lucy's already dead in this one. Lucy's already dead.
Oh, yes.
And so she's watching her funeral, and Daniel's just standing there watching it. And then she's like, why am I here? I'm already dead. How am I going to, what's this going to do? And he's like,
yeah,
well,
what am I going to see about this?
And then Daniel just yeets himself off the edge of a cliff and doesn't open his wings and then falls. And then she's like, I'm not okay with this. Let's leave. So now she's in Tibet.
Literally just constant. I don't like this. Let's just keep going. I don't think you're going to find one you like, hon, because guess what? Someone's going to die at the end of it every time.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so they're in Tibet. What happens in... Oh, and then her... So she's very, I guess... Oh, what's the word?
Oh, she dies again.
But this
she just sees herself
They
die
don't even
again.
touch. But they don't even touch. Like, he hands her a rose, and they're careful not to even touch that time.
Yeah, they had not touched.
Just,
yeah, and then she just fucking dies.
And she's like, but why? We didn't even touch. What? And he's like, well, I don't know. Why do you think you might have died? I have a question. Do you guys have any idea what kills her?
No. I assumed, because the thing is, what makes the most sense is if they kiss, because it's consistent.
Okay. So now I'm like, is it just them? Is it them meeting?
No, because they can meet and it'd be fine.
Well, obviously it's not fine.
Well,
does she die if they don't meet?
Well,
they can't. Yeah, they can't not meet. They're compulsed.
Like he's drawn. Like he can. Like when he ends up talking to himself in the freaking jail cell or whatever, he's like, "Can't you feel that her conception has already happened?"
Yeah.
Like he can feel when her soul is like in the womb, and it just calls to him.
But
he's called to a fetus. Okay.
Does Lucifer kill her? I don't know. Like, what the fuck?
Kind of. I mean, like, he's involved in the curse. And he's the one that says that she shall not live past adolescence. So I guess kind of.
Well, I mean, unless it's like the day before her 18th birthday and she like drops dead. I get that. But like...
I mean, it would make more sense if it was just kind of like a Maleficent curse, like on the dawn of her 16th birthday, she shall prick her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel.
Yeah, right.
And she shall die, blah, you know?
Yeah.
If it was just like on the dawn of her 17th birthday, she shall blah, and then she will blah, you know?
Yeah. That she just died.
That would make, like, she just, on this day, before she turns this, then she kisses Daniel, and then she's dead. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Well, now Daniel's in Tibet.
Well, but Bill is like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to get into your body.
Oh, yeah, do you want to go 3D? And she's like, the fuck is 3D? And he's like, you'll find out.
Yeah.
And
now Daniel's in Tibet, yes.
So we're now backwards in Lucy's experience, but like we're ahead of time, but backwards in the story.
Yeah.
We're in Tibet. And Daniel has...
It's Daniel and like the whole fucking gang. It's all the gang of angels.
No, it's just Cam in this one.
So there's Cam and Gabby.
But this one is
Gabby
just
was there
current
before.
Cam. Yeah, this is current Cam. Yeah, so this isn't past Cam. This is our Cam. And he is also... Because they've all traveled back in like... And none of them were like, let's stick together. No, like, Daniel went back to try and find a Cam did, but on his own. Miles and Shelby did on their own.
Yeah, they're all trying to go back separately and find her, which is just fucking stupid.
I mean, that said, though, when you... Actually... No, yeah, no matter which way you slice it, because let's be honest, the angels are eternal, right? So they can literally just go back in small increments as a group, and it means nothing to them.
Yeah.
But either way. So, and Cam's just like, oh yeah, by the way, Luce just saw you like try and unsuccessfully off yourself because you're an angel. And then she left, and Daniel's like, why didn't you stop her? And he's like, she's not my girlfriend. And it's like, well, why the fuck are you here, Cam? I don't get it. It doesn't make
We're
sense.
in Versailles.
Yeah,
now we're in
Versailles in 1723. And Lucy's is a princess in this one.
Yep.
She's a princess of Savoy. At least they haven't made her like an
actual historical figure, which is nice.
Yeah, thank goodness. Except we do get to meet some historical figures. We get to meet Will. Won't that be fun? We get to hang out with Willsy.
Yeah.
I honestly, I understand that people that knew him probably did call him Will, but it feels weird to read just like, oh, hey, Will, how you going? It's like, no, we don't. We don't do this.
Yeah, no, we can't call you Willie.
You can't just chug Shakespeare into your book and pretend we're friends.
But also, it's the fact that it's like, you fucking Shakespeare. Really?
She also burns the theater down. She burns the theater down. I'm not okay with it.
No.
Okay, but yeah, no. So we're in Versailles. She's a princess of Savoy, and she's like,
yes, there's
okay. I must be dressed, and she gets dressed. And then she meets herself, and they're dressed almost the same. And then Bill's just like, hold hands, and she's like, okay, I'll hold hands, and then they hold hands.
Yeah, Daniel's here, obviously. Not our Daniel, past Daniel, which doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Is his name Daniel in this one?
It's Daniel. And she's like, okay. Wow, there's so much passion and love between us.
Yeah. So like they merge, and so like Luce and I don't know what this one is. Liz. So Luce and Liz
are 3D cleaved.
Yep, they're cleaved. So both souls are in the body, and she's meant to marry Louis the 15th.
I think so.
Is he the one that became king when he was 5? That one. And he's like, I want to fuck her. Because he's 15 at this point. And he's like, I want to bang her, Uncle Duke. And
yes,
Uncle
15.
Duke's like, okay, you can bang her. And she's like, okay, well, I have a present for you. I will be back to bang you shortly. And then she leaves and runs into Daniel, and they make out, and Duke's like, aha. And she's like, no. And then Liz dies, and Luce gets thrown into an announcer.
And she's like, I'll break the curse. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then we have Daniel again, who is still fucking behind her.
Yeah, well, yes and no. So Daniel arrives months after Liz dies, to himself in jail in France for killing him.
Yes. Which he's an angel. Why is he in jail?
Oh, because he's
to punish himself because he's bad.
They do have this conversation, and this is the one where he's like, "But
I get it, but still,
back, you know, you can feel that she's conceived, correct?" And he's like, and Daniel's like, "Oh, well, you know, Shelby and Miles came by for a visit. Don't know who the fuck they are, but they came." And Daniel's like, "What the fuck? Why are they here?" And he's like, "I don't know, but you better sort this shit out, bro." And he's like, "Okay, I guess I will. I promise."
Yeah, and he's like, I'll fix this, I swear.
I'll find it. Wait. Actually, this line is bad enough, and then you realize that the what is it? When you say that someone's said, or what's the word again? What's the said tag? The speaking tag? Is it a speaking
dialogue
tag?
Tags?
Dialogue thing, yes. He shouts it. So it's like, no, it's not anymore. I'll find her. I'll redeem us both. And then he jumps into an announcer and the chapter ends. He's shouting it. It's bad enough if he says it.
Like, there's other people in this fucking jail. Anyways, we're in London now in 1613.
Writing so this is based on both this book and also mostly, though, to be honest, Stalked by Santa. When writing intimidating men, don't have them shout, please. Stop it.
Can I also just say this? Sorry.
If you are writing an intimidating man, and there is a single exclamation point anywhere near it, anywhere in his dialogue, delete it, first of all. No.
Oh.
The exclamation key, undo, no. 9, stop.
Wait, there is one exception. If he is like the aggressive alcoholic that gets violent when he's drunk, that is fine.
Yeah,
I mean like intimidating in the sexy way.
Oh yeah, no. But also, if you want someone to just be intimidating in general, and because I can't think about this in terms of sexy, because I'm about to talk about my father. Okay, so we're just going to talk about intimidating.
Yes,
in general. My father was a prison officer, and he never had to yell at any of the crims. They all had a very
That's what I mean.
amount of respectful fear of him. And growing up, I don't remember him ever yelling at me. I don't remember him ever giving me a smack. I don't remember any of that. You know what was fucking terrifying? When he would crouch down, get eye level with me, and talk so softly that if there was like a loud breeze coming through, you wouldn't hear him. And he's just making eye contact. He's not standing over you. He gets he got down and we're just looking eye to eye. And he would talk so softly, and it was terrifying.
That's thing one. People who are scary talk quietly. People who are very violent and explosive are scary in a different way, in a more abusive way. Okay? That's thing two. Okay? Explosive is abusive. Scary is quiet. Thing three, okay? Scary people, intimidating either in like the dad way or depending on the vibe you're going for, the sexy way. Fewer,
it's calm, and it's quiet.
Fewer words, less dialogue. Like whatever you're trying to say, look at the sentence you've written and cut as many words out as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Also, any swear words you've put in, probably take those out too, because they probably sound silly. And it probably also just having read romance novels, especially PNR, if your sexy, super intimidating character is calling somebody a dickhead, also stop that. I cannot handle it.
Oh yeah.
Also a very good threat to be put into the quiet, calm, angry, threatening scene is this probably works more for like not a sexy relationship, probably more for like a parent relationship, or even just a I'm gonna kill you type of thing. I don't know. Threatening to kick their ass into next week always works.
Yeah.
That was one of my dad's favorite threats. He's like, stop doing that or I'll kick your ass into next week. I still don't quite know what that means, but it worked every time.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he never had to smack us, and that threat was one of them. And I was a shit of a kid.
I am just so tired of male characters who I'm supposed to like
yelling,
screaming all the time. Like,
at least that one was like just a melodramatic shout. It wasn't a.
Yeah, I know, but also shut up. Stop yelling.
Yeah. Also, look, if you're gonna have a dialogue that is like only appropriate to have in a book because it's cringy when you say it out loud, don't ever have them shout it.
Oh yeah,
because it makes it funny.
Yes, that too. Because once you have them shout it, like, because if it's going to be cringy, like to say out loud in real life, and it's fine in a book, the moment it's shouted though,
yeah, like for example, that line, I'll find her, I'll redeem us both. Look,
I'll find her, I'll redeem us both, fine. I'll avenge us all.
Yeah, it could work as spoken dialogue, but once it is shouted.
Once it's shouted, dramatically. It's shouted dramatically upon an exit to like a portal in a crowded prison. Anyway, he just said that's cringy.
It is.
Yes. Sorry.
So now Luce she's in the Globe. She makes out with Daniel. Shakespeare's like, the world will know your love.
Yeah, and she's a secret woman because we're talking about like actors back when.
Yeah, because actors were men during this time period.
Yes.
Yeah.
And So they're doing a thing. She talks with that times Daniel, and he's just like, "You're a bit fucking weird today, but cool."
Yeah, he's like, "You're being really forward," because she's making out with him, and he's like, "My lady, we must not. This is so improper."
Also, you're supposed to be a man. What if someone walks in and sees us?
Yeah. But she eats, and then we're in.
She cleaves with herself again and burns down the Globe Theater,
and then 14, we're with Daniel in Greenland.
Okay, yeah. So this is when he stops following her and starts being like. So then he goes to the angel meeting. He goes to an angel meeting, and himself is like huddled at a rock. I'm guessing she's just died again. I don't know.
I assume so. I mean, if it's, listen, it's safe to assume that if we see Daniel and he's just moody, it's just safe to assume she just died, because she dies every 17 years.
Or is he just like a depressed mood? Like, what is he like? Like, just say like 10 years. Like, so he, like, it's 10 years after she's died, 7 years until she dies again. What's he like then? When he's not getting like half his neck blown out in like World War I.
Still insufferable.
Yeah, because that's kind of the only time we meet him like mid-cycle.
Yeah, mid-cycle.
The one where he's had half his neck blown out.
So you don't even get to know what he's like.
Yeah.
Anyways. But yeah, angel meeting.
And apparently this is the night where he almost gave up and picked a side, but then he doesn't. And
I wish he had.
He almost gave up on her.
Yeah, I choose Lucinda over everything. Yeah, whatever.
So then he cleaved. So current Daniel is like, no, I'm going to dramatically cleave with this one. Instead of just reaching around the rock and going poke, he's like, no, I shall dive into the air and dive back down. So he does that. And then he extends his wings, and yeah, he once again, he calls to heaven and earth. So I'm guessing he's shouting again.
Yeah.
I now reaffirm my choice. I choose Lucinda over everything, and I will until the end. And now we're in
Mesoamerica.
Yep. We're with the Aztecs. Okay, we're with the Aztecs.
We're in Chichen Itza. Yep. Approximately 555 CE.
And Luce in this one. This is the one where she's got a different name. I can't remember what it is, though. It starts with an I, and she is going to be a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problematic one.
I mean,
it's the thing that they did. Yeah, Ixquat.
It's Ixquat. Yeah.
It is a thing that the Aztecs did do.
Yeah, they did.
Human sacrifice.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
They did that a lot. I mean, I don't know. I don't know
did
that
they end up to Bernie sacrificing.
What?
To Bird?
Burning sacrificing.
Burning.
In this one, they're still doing the blood sacrifice, but then apparently the end result of this is that's when they start doing the burning people alive thing, because like another tribe found all the ash and were like, oh, I guess this is what we're doing now, and to them that's when they started doing it.
I genuinely don't know.
You know what? Let's Google for science. Do you
know if the Aztecs only did blood sacrifices, or was it like did they burn people?
Yeah, yep, they did to appease Teotl.
I have done
the fire god.
Pretty good amount of research and that kind of thing about Aztecs.
They says she found something.
To appease the fire god, they had a ceremony where they feasted, and at the end they would burn captives.
It is possible.
Before they died, they would be taken from the fire, and their hearts would be cut out.
But the reason that they did blood sacrifices is because, I was about to start going into it. Basically, because they believed that the gods needed blood to keep the sun going.
Right, yeah. So
eventually was going to get pissed if they didn't give it blood.
So, I mean, okay, so if she's a person who's been reincarnated over and over again, blah, blah, blah. I mean, and you're talking about the Aztecs or whatever, acknowledging that the Aztecs did blood sacrifice is not necessarily the problematic thing or whatever.
No, it's not.
Now her being the blood sacrifice
It's weird. It's just like, why?
Oh, also you can tell when this book was written because it makes a reference to the.
It references the 2012 hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Yes.
So apparently also Ixcoat, or however you say her name, she was born at the end of like the Mayan month or something where it's like not really captured on the like the 29th of February.
I mean, here's the dumb part is that the
to be born then apparently.
The dumb part is that the Aztecs and the Maya are not the same thing.
That is correct.
I don't know.
No, they're not the same thing.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying in terms of how this is written. Because they're at the Aztec pyramid thing, aren't they?
Sacrificial area, I think.
Where are they at? I'm sorry.
They're in Mesoamerica.
Oh no! Oh, I lied.
Chicken.
She's at a Mayan temple. Okay.
Okay.
They're at
sorry.
a Mayan.
Okay, did the Mayans do human sacrifice too? Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Did they do Bernie sacrifice?
Yeah, I guess they did.
Mayans.
Okay, so the Mayans. Okay, sorry, I'm not as well versed in Mesoamerican history as my fiance is. So I apologize.
Is it fun to say
but
still or weed yet? Oh, sorry,
but apparently the Mayans were not as, according to him, the Mayans were not as prolific for human sacrifice as the Aztec, right?
Kind of like
in emergency situations.
If they were desperate and they felt like that was the only way to
solve
the problem.
So to be honest, when you're kind of like doing a rapid fire, like here's a bunch of stuff throughout history, if it were me, I would have picked the Aztecs. Honestly, if I were like, I'm going to do a human sacrifice thing, I would have actually picked like the human sacrificey people. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Also, the ball game thing is accurate. They would do the ball game.
Yes, that is true. Yes,
they do a game. I don't know what the ball game actually is.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently though, I just found an article that says that they actually sacrifice boys, not girls.
Oh,
that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it says
the Mayan sacrifice meant boys, not girls. Is that true?
I mean, there would have been male sacrifices because the losers of the ball game get sacrificed.
Yeah.
The losers of the ball game.
At least according to Fallen.
Yeah.
But it says that of the 127 bodies discovered at the bottom of one of the sacred caves, it found that over 80% were likely boys between the ages of 3 and 11. The other 20% were most likely adult men. So Luz wasn't getting sacrificed no matter what, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, again, if talking about just from a writing perspective, if you were going to do this kind of rapid fire throughout history thing, and you're like, I have to have my main character be a human sacrifice. Maybe pick a place where
teen females.
I don't know, or you could just not. Or if you have to have them be an indigenous person, you could just pick one. Well, yeah. So really, what she is a little white girl, but right now she's an indigenous human sacrifice. Yeah.
That said, though, that archaeological find,
you should see the look on his face right now.
I think that happened when they discovered, like when they found all those bodies and examined them and determined that they were mostly all male. I think that happened after this was published.
I mean, that's fine.
I will give Lauren, but that's the other thing as well. Like, look, if it's more based on folklore and you're presenting it as fact or like word of mouth or like, you know, we're pretty sure this stuff happened and this is how it happened, etc., etc., etc. Maybe don't do it because then 2 years later, someone will be like, oh, but it was only men.
Yeah.
Boys.
But that whole chapter is still just the same as every other chapter.
Yeah. So, well, it gets a bit different this time because that.
Well,
that
also
period's Daniel.
her and Bill also actually talk about the fact that, oh, well, it's not every time we like why. She's like, this is different this time, and also why is it that sometimes when we kiss I die, sometimes we don't kiss and I still die? Like, starting to question all that.
And then in this one though, as well. So Daniel is meant to actually be the one to sacrifice her because he's one of the winners of the ball game.
Oh yes.
But then he gets there and he's like, no, and then he's like, I shall release my angel self. So he releases his angel self.
Yes, and they're like, oh my god, it's just yeah.
And then Luce holds out, and she's like, I think I'm starting to, and then she dies. And she's like, I felt something different though, and Bill's just like, yeah, because.
Oh, it's because she knows who. Is it just because when she remembers she dies?
Kind of, yeah. That's part of it. When she
that's
doesn't actually understand what's going on, that's when she dies.
That's okay. That makes more sense.
So if they boinked before she knew,
yeah, like they just had like a one night stand.
Then they could boink if they boinked prior to her knowing. But I think part of it though is I think
so he could get his dick wet.
Finally, the trigger for her understanding.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so often when they kiss, because I think she kisses and then she's like, I know this. I've done this. And then,
yeah, I've done this 1,000 times. Yeah.
So they could boink then kiss.
Once.
Throwing out ideas.
What if he just like
position every time?
just and then suddenly she died?
That would be awkward as fuck.
Would he be harmed?
Would he be harmed? Like if he died inside of her?
If she died while he was inside of her. Because she burns up in fire, right? But is it heavenly fire? And if so, does it hurt him?
Can Daniel finally fucking die?
Is he resistant or vulnerable to radiant damage?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He'd probably be resistant.
About him being harmed,
right?
When she gets into flame, and I highly doubt like he's just like, oh no, can't touch your boo, sorry. Like every single time, I'm sure like there's at least once where he's held a hand during the burning.
Yeah, it'd probably be awkward, but like he'd live probably.
Okay, let's just assume that it doesn't that her bursting into flames doesn't cause him harm.
Yeah.
I don't have a man to ask right now because he's home at the moment, but I don't know if he's
actually home.
I do too.
But can you guys ask if Boink was to result in you burning up in a pillar of fire, but you're not going to get hurt, are you still going to do the Boink?
Okay.
You might have to add more context though.
He's considering it.
If boinking me would result in me burning up into a giant fireball, but you wouldn't get hurt.
I wouldn't get hurt.
And you're going to die anyway.
I'm going to die no matter what. But I'm going to die no matter what, whether or not we boink. But you get to boink me, but I do, die in a giant ball of fire.
Mid-boink.
But you don't get hurt. Do you boink
the
me?
Time difference between, or how much longer?
None.
You're probably going to die tonight anyway.
I die tonight anyway. Yeah, he said yes.
I said, would you finish?
He said, why not?
He said, I guess quickly.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna see if my husband.
There you go. Noah said the same thing.
He said, wouldn't you want to?
Not fast. It's only first degree.
Oh no, God, get out of here.
He's not home. He's at the gun room, so I can't ask him. Maybe if I remember, if we're still on and I remember, I'll ask him when he gets home.
Anyways,
I'm curious. I'm curious as to his thoughts, but
so
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by either of those responses. I have to say. If there's no risk of harm to the penis, I'm like, why not?
Just get it done real quick.
It's been at least 6,000 years, right?
Yeah.
Like you kind of.
He'd be like, I can't stop.
Well, so also though, the upside is you wouldn't inherently finish quickly, right?
No.
He's a 6,000-year-old virgin. You don't think as soon as the tip goes in, it's done?
Oh. I thought you meant in like the real life circumstances that we're discussing. No,
I'm talking about in that.
With them too? No, he's literally gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be like.
It's gonna be American Pie. He's not even gonna be out of his underwear, and he's gonna have it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's gonna like just touch, and then he's gonna be like, like it ain't working.
I have a question. If they were to like just say like they meet when she's 16, and he's like, you know what, let's do this, boo. And I don't know, he finds a way to keep her stupid, and by that ignorant. Whatever.
Yeah, like she doesn't find out.
Yeah. And they manage to boink just the once, and she doesn't die in it. But because he's never done this before, because he's a 6,000-year-old virgin, he doesn't use protection. She's now pregnant.
Okay.
And she's about ready to push that baby out of her, and she bursts into a column of flames because she suddenly has the understanding. Does the baby survive?
That's what I was thinking, actually, as we were talking about that. I was like, if she gets pregnant, is a fetus a person? Like, that's a good question. In this universe, are fetuses people? No, like at any stage, though. I know, like, even if she's not about.
Well, it's Christian.
Well, so, is it?
He's an angel of God. Yes.
I don't know how Christian she is. Like, she could be.
How Christian Lucy is not a bit, because she's unbaptized.
No, I meant like the author.
Yeah.
Probably not very, because she's writing a very sacrilegious story, so I imagine probably not much.
Right, so are fetuses people in this universe?
They should be. Based on the story and the content of this, I feel like they should be, because... wondering. But also, though, do you think that, okay, she manages to birth the baby before she goes, maybe like seeing the baby for the first time, she's like, oh, I remember now. Does the baby stop him from being so freaking depressed?
I would hope so.
What impact does the baby have?
Like, wouldn't it be so?
When he's 17 years, he, like, does he say, child, this is kind of your mother?
They would literally be the same age, because she would die and then get conceived immediately. So her baby would be exactly 9 months older than her.
Yeah. Yes.
That'd be guys, dumb. Yeah.
I don't know if this is American. I cannot tell. But there is a Fallen television show coming out this year.
No.
I don't think it's American.
I need to find it. Give me a minute.
I am on the IMDb page for it, but...
Fallen miniseries.
No, it's not the miniseries.
Oh, no, Fallen TV series. Here we go.
Yep.
I see.
22.
What length? Where?
But the miniseries does have Paul Wesley in it as a half angel.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Okay, so
I don't know when it's coming out.
The chick who plays Luce is in the new Little Mermaid live action.
Oh, okay, so that might be American.
Yeah,
it's in post production right now.
But the guy who plays Daniel is from the Netherlands. It doesn't say where she's from. It just says that she's in the Little Mermaid.
He is a lot more attractive than the Daniel was for the original, and the Cam is a lot less attractive. So maybe finally.
Okay, and then the guy who plays Cam.
I've seen the show. I've seen that show. He looked familiar, and I've seen Last Kingdom that he's in. And then I've seen the movie, the famous movie that he's, because he's in All Quiet on the Left, but no, he's in Letter for a King. Yeah, I've seen that too, which Daniel's in. And he is the perfect amount of like broody, and.
Who are you? Okay, I'm actually really not okay with this already because Miss Sophia is now Miss Miriam Sophia. So they've just
yes.
It's gonna be like what's its face? It's gonna be like Vampire Academy where it like they pretend it's based on the books when it's like loosely inspired by.
Yeah.
I do kind of now want to watch the mini series one with Paul Wesley. It's not about this. It's not based on this. That cover. Oh my god, that is so stupid. I love it. Okay.
Anyways, so the next chapter. Yes, Daniel is
approximately 1000 BC.
Daniel is like la di da di da, and then the Nephilim.
Oh yeah, he's still woven with himself. He's stuck.
Yeah, he's
and while stuck with himself, he travels back in time. So now this poor other version of himself has to find his way home.
And then Shelby and Miles show up, and they're like, "Hey, Danny boy, what's up?" And then they see Cam mourning Lilith.
Oh,
and
Miles drags Daniel with the star shot and separates, and now other him gets to go
so
home.
now other Daniel can go home, but Cam they just observe Cam being sad and
because he wants to marry Lilith, and Lilith is like, we must marry in church, and he's like, but I can't enter church because I am fallen angel, but you don't know that, so I'm not going to tell you. And she's like, well, fuck you, and he's like, well, fuck you. And then
are you guys seeing these images of Paul Wesley with these goofy angel wings?
I saw them, yeah.
Yes. That's why I said I want to watch it. It looks fun. In probably the worst way.
Okay. Why do I feel like, because it came out in 2007, why do I feel like that was just his audition tape to be Stefan in the Vampire Diaries?
Oh my god.
You guys really should see the episode of him when he's in the OC. He's some like gangster kid from like near Chino. I can't remember what actual town he's from, but it's near Chino because him and Ryan bond over that. And he shoots someone because the girls don't want to give him attention because he comes from the poor part of town.
Okay.
And the boys are like, lol, you're poor. And then he shoots someone. I watched that recently, and I'm just... Yeah, he's much younger in it, obviously, because, you know... See, though...
Anyway.
I don't know what...
Sorry.
This picture of him with the angel wings, right? I don't know what they're like when they move. They do look better in still than the movie Fallen Angel Wings, because they actually look like angel wings.
It was a 2006 ABC Family miniseries based on the Fallen series of novels by Thomas Snegoski. Snegoski, whatever.
At least now I have a visual. You know how like in this series how like sometimes Daniel wraps his wings around loose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they kiss. We have a still of that now, so I can actually like properly envision it now.
See, I always properly envisioned it because I envisioned it for the first time when I was like 14 and reading about Raphael and Stevie Ray.
See, I intentionally refrained from actually, like, I've audibly theorized about what that would look like, but I had managed to refrain from properly picturing Stevie Ray and Raphael making out.
Well, making out, no. But we have talked about this recently, though. Like,
I know, but like,
because we're like, what kind of tongue does he have?
Also, where does his beak go?
I don't know. Are we almost?
Does he hug her cheeks with his beak?
Where are
we're 79%
Okay.
of the way done.
Yeah, so
Almost
this is when because Cam hasn't chosen a side yet, and this is when
Yeah,
Cam
so he's like,
chooses-
Daniel's like,
I'll
we
be
don't
right
hate
back.
him now. That's fine. Daniel's like,
Yeah,
we don't
but-
hate him right now.
This is like a week before he chooses Satan, so like
Yeah.
And now we're in Yin China.
Yeah, now we go to China.
That's
and
right.
Luce
I need to look
meets
what Daniel looks.
needs Lucian
Lucian.
who is
honestly,
Chinese.
You read this, didn't you? You
Yeah.
didn't listen.
Yeah, I read it.
The accents get worse as it goes.
Yeah, no,
She does all the accents, and they are like by the time we get to this one, this is the one where I ended up sending the message about like prepare for accents.
Yeah, I still read faster than I listen, so I was like, I just want to fucking.
Yeah, it's So she's meant to be marrying the king.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. She's meant to be marrying the king. The king's dead.
Like king, the king is dead. So she puts on his armor and does it.
Mulan, essentially.
Yeah, she Mulans it, and then she runs into Daniel or whatever the hell his name is in this one because it's not. It's
obviously not Daniel.
He's meant to be
D. His name's D.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. And then they yeet and
the king is dead. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, which
she dies. Oh yeah, so they kiss or something, or they're looking in the eyes, and she starts having all of these visions.
Yes.
And then she dies. And then they're back.
We talk to Bill.
I think are we inside an announcer again?
Yes, we are. We're just chatting with Bill inside the announcer for a while, and then we go.
And Bill's like, "Oh, I know how you can break the curse, though, yo." And she's like, "How?" And he's like, "Well, you need to kill your soul.
We need to kill one of your past lives." Yeah.
Well, he doesn't. It's not actually that. It's so you have a star shot while she's cleaved. Apparently, there's a moment where like her and
she
her
needs to kill herself.
Their souls aren't intertwined, but they're still in the same body. And he's like, "You need to do that then, because that will kill your own immortal soul." And then you get to just be loose and get to go and do a thing and grow up and get fat and get old. And she's like, awesome, let's do that.
Yeah, he's like, have you seen the structure? Then we go back to Daniel and Shelby and all of that, and we're back in Jerusalem.
And he sends them home.
And we get like a fucking lore dump, and then
he's like, he runs into someone who is in the scale, which is an angel that does. It's not really though. It's Bill. It's Lucifer. And they're like, go this way. You'll find Luce this way. And he's like, okay.
He's like, awesome, cool. Now we're in Egypt. 3100 BC.
3100 BC, yes. Oh God, and is she another slave in this one?
Yes, she's a servant.
Yeah, so she's an Egyptian servant or something, and she's like, yes, Pharaoh, blah blah blah. And that's right, because Daniel is betrothed to the Pharaoh's daughter,
and then she's just like a servant, yeah.
Yeah, so Donka. That's Daniel's name in this one, Donka. But we call him Don. Thank Christ. Yeah. Now, I have issues with this one because I know a bit about Egypt, right? And it makes it sound like, like this is like the Pharaoh's like favorite daughter or something, which, in the time, I am making assumptions. It implies that it's also the Pharaoh's oldest daughter or something like that. I don't know. While there is a lot about history that is not actually accurate that people believe, one thing that is accurate is incest was very strong in Egyptian families.
Yes. Yeah, and a lot of old families like that.
Yeah. So also, like, the Egyptian dynasties are matrilineal. So there's the pharaoh and the queen and the Pharaoh's daughter would marry the Pharaoh's son with probably one of his concubines, most likely. And and then when the queen doesn't have a daughter to marry one of his sons that will become pharaoh, then one of his other daughters typically will marry one of his sons, and that's the end of the dynasty and the start of a new one. Why the hell is one of the pharaoh's daughters, or the pharaoh's only daughter from the sound of this, betrothed to some random guy?
Some random guy.
That is not his son. Because the future pharaoh marries his sister.
But anyways.
Yeah.
It's time it's time for Luce to try to self-dead.
Yeah.
But immortal dead, not real dead.
Yeah, so she gets locked in a tomb, and then she ends up speaking with Don, I guess. And she's like, no, I can't do it. I won't do it. I love you. And then she doesn't. Mm-hmm. And then, so she dies. And like Layla, that life dies. And then she's with Bill again, and Bill's pissed. And he's like, fuck you, you dumb bitch. And she's like, but what? I thought we were friends. And he's like, lol, no, you're so stupid. Oh, look at all the pretty fire in the sky. And she's like, what's the fire in the sky? He's like, I'll tell you later. Well, I won't tell you later. You'll find out next scene. So we find out next scene. But he's like, you dumb. I'm Lucifer. Mwahaha. Here is all of my evil.
Welcome to hell. Yeah.
This is my James. This is my James Bond villain speech of like all of my plans.
Here's my
so he's like, this is the fall, and I am going to open up and announce it nice and big, and all of the angels that are currently falling shall fall into the announcer, and then I'll yeet them to now, like to your now, and we will rewrite time because they will fall then instead of now, so all of time has not happened.
Yeah, so
and she's like, that's evil, and then he's like, well, yes, I am Satan. Well done. Congratulations, I'm evil. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to Daniel.
And then we cut to Daniel, who is at Heaven's Gate, the fall, and we just see the fall.
Yeah, so, and this is where he does work into the curse. Because, they're like, Daniel must be punished. And she's like, because he's like, I choose, because they have to choose sides.
They have to choose sides here and now.
I choose love. And they're like, bad you. And Lucifer's like, I cast a curse. And God's like, yeah, sounds good, fam. And Daniel's like, no, there must be mercy in the curse. And he's like, fine. When she's not baptized and her choice has not been chosen for her, then you shall have a chance to do a thing.
Yeah, so you'll have a chance to break the curse. But until then, you will just suffer for every 17 years until blah, 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 blah.
And then the fall happens. And then Daniel's like, no, and I don't know why, but he's flying down following the fall. I don't know. And then he sees someone coming up, and he's like, what is that? It's Lucifer carrying Luce, and he's like, wahaha, have you bitch, and throws Luce at Daniel, and he catches the angels, and then he yeets, and then they go back to present.
And then it's like, it's only been a few hours. We're all here. It's fine.
Yep, so they're in Savannah, Georgia now.
Yep. At her parents' house again.
And they're like, we have 9 days to fix it. And I'm like, why can't you just grab another announcer, like a full announcer, and go, no, and then just like take him back?
Yeah, because they're like, we need to find
because they're currently falling.
The location of the fall.
That's right, because they're currently falling.
Yeah.
In like now time. And no one is seeing like these angels falling from heaven for 9 days.
But they're like, we have to find the source of it so we can stop it and blah, blah, blah. And that's going to be the book. It's going to be the final book.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we're at.
That's the passionate hatred.
I'm not going to lie. It's one of the... it doesn't make sense. Like, why would it...
It's like, pointless. That was a
pointless The announcer isn't... Luce's announcers have not dropped her off at the same time, like the same place she was with the last one. So why would the fall announcer drop them 9 days in the sky when he transports them? That's one thing that's always bugged me, is like, why wouldn't they just be there? But also, now that they're there, would it not just it's already done? Like, why did they? I don't understand why they have to hit the ground to change everything.
It's stupid. This whole book also did not need to happen. There was no reason for us to go traipsing through our life.
Book 2 had a countdown. Book 2 had a time frame countdown. So now book 4 gets to have a time frame countdown.
I liked book 2 more than I liked this one.
You didn't like exploring China and Israel and
no, I did not.
It was pointless.
And England twice.
It just seemed pointless. While the last one, at least things happened. This one, they literally were sitting ducks for 12 hours. That's all that happened. They sat there and daydreamed for 12 hours.
This book will make more sense after next book.
Jesus.
Well,
I mean, it's still stupid. It's still like it didn't have to be done this way.
No, it didn't have.
It did not have to be done this way, in any way, shape, or form. Oh, we didn't do ratings. Do you stand?
Yes,
no.
I completely stand.
What is your whelm level?
Underwhelmed.
I feel like I was underwhelmed. Bill disappointed me so much. I remembered him being fun, but he wasn't even fun when he was
Bill wasn't even. Yeah, no, he wasn't that fun. He was just like, and plus every interaction when he like wasn't there, when it was just going, Bill, help me, Bill. And it's like, fuck off.
That's one thing I want to see. Because in the audiobook, right, when he reveals himself as Lucifer, like in the audio, he's just like, surprise! Like for ages. And I want to see how that's written.
I'm overwhelmed with boredom.
Where is surprise? No, it's just written surprise. Just normal, no extended eyes. Just surprise with an exclamation mark. So that was that was just Dean's personal choice.
The novella's 4 hours long.
I told you it's short.
That's so long.
So long.
I mean, I could probably in it.
I mean, I could probably like read it in an hour, so that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's pretty short.
I'll just read
it. It's 4 short stories. We have what stories do we have in it? Let me find them.
It's Miles and Shelby and
yes. So Miles and Shelby's ones happen on their way back through the announcers back to
and then fuck, where was it? Fallen. Lord Kate. Fallen. There we go.
And then we have
it's Ariane,
Roland, Ari,
Daniel, and Luce.
Ariane, yeah. Shelby and Miles, then Roland, then Ariane, then
Daniel
and Luce, and each of them are 4 chapters.
Yeah.
So
easy. We can just. It's easy.
When do we want to do that one? And your thingy.
Tuesday. I like doing Tuesday.
Okay.
It's fine with me.
Let me just double check because I know that there's stuff happening at the school next week and I just don't know what day it is.
Yeah.
Because next week there is the Easter pageant. So I need to find out when is the Easter pageant. Not that one. Where is my newsletter?
Well, we can work that out when we're. But
yeah.
Is that everything?
Yeah, I mean that's the book.
That's the
thing. Yeah, honestly, this one's kind of hard to talk about because it's literally just like her skipping back and like
she goes back.
Each one helps her just like put like one little puzzle piece in.
She goes back. She dies.
Still has half the puzzle undone. She doesn't get it all, but she's closer to seeing it.
Yeah, and she's also, I mean, I guess she got what she wanted, and seeing her relationship with Daniel over the years, and seeing how it all began and stuff.
Yeah, nothing at the school next Wednesday, so I can do Tuesday. No.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right.
Cool.
So that's what we'll do. All right. Bye.
Okay. That